This week on Moms Like Us, Kristen Cavallari on how she feels like her parenting style has changed.
I feel like now is when the real parenting happens. You know, now it's real conversations about things.
Then Erin Andrews opens up about her IVF journey.
It's been a really, really rough journey for us. Like I'm trying to do another round next month. I mean, I really am. I'm sitting here with estrogen patches on.
Plus, Kieran Culkin explains why he and Jazz Charton didn't name their second baby for 7 weeks.
And we narrowed it down to 2 girl names that we really liked. And we agreed that it was going to be one of those 2 names if it's a girl, and if it's a boy, we're screwed.
We've got that plus so much more on today's Moms Like Us. Hey everyone, Christina Garibaldi here with Brianne Mans from Stoller in the City, and welcome to Moms Like Us. Brianne, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm gearing up for the holidays. I can't believe Thanksgiving is literally next week.
It's insane. It really does not feel like it at all. But yes, the holidays are here and they're going to come fast and furious.
Yes, absolutely.
Cannot wait. But we have a lot of celebrity news to get to this week. So let's kick it off with Kieran Culkin and his wife, Jazz Charton, who waited nearly 2 months before naming their son. Now, he told Ellen DeGeneres why the process took so long, saying, "We found it at the hospital the day that he was born, and we thought that's great. But instead of pulling the trigger on it, let's torture ourselves about it for 7 weeks, disagreeing with names before we come around to the name that we picked." They finally named their baby boy, who is now 3 months. They named him Wilder, which is adorable. And their eldest child is a 2-year-old daughter named Kinsey, who they call Sisu. Very cute. I mean, what do you think about waiting 7 weeks after your child is born before naming them?
Okay, I have 2 stories to tell you about this. So one is we named our son Ryder, and when I got home from the hospital, I freaked out. I thought we should change his name and really looked into changing his name and probably drove ourselves like crazy for probably 7 weeks too. And also realized that to change the name, there's a lot that you have to do. You have to report something in the newspaper. You have to get something printed in print in a newspaper. And I was like, this is crazy. What are we doing? But then the other part of it is I have a friend who knew she was pregnant with a boy. She recently gave birth, and I want to say she gave birth about 3 weeks ago. She still hasn't named her son.
Really?
Yes, because she just can't decide on a name. They just can't decide. I thought you couldn't leave the hospital.
That's what I thought too.
I don't think that's the case anymore.
It doesn't seem like it. That's so funny. Are they deciding between 2 names, or are they trying some out?
I don't know. I'm afraid to ask her because I don't want to stress her out. So if you're watching this, I'm not going to ask you. I'm just sitting here waiting patiently to find out the name.
That's really funny. See, a girlfriend of mine, she gave birth and she had 2 names for her daughter. And she, it was only 3 days. So it was until they left the hospital. But they were trying out both names to see which one fit. And they ended up going with the name. Their daughter's name is Mila. So they ended up going with that. But yes, so she was in the hospital and she was going back and forth because she couldn't figure it out. But finally they decided on that. But it's so funny.
It's so stressful on parents. Yeah. I mean, you're giving someone a name for the rest of their life, you know?
It is. I second guess myself sometimes too. Now, with baby boy, with Lucas, because how I had such a hard time deciding. And then I keep going back. I'm like, well, what if I did this? What if I did that? But now he's starting to come into his name a little bit more.
Yes, absolutely.
So funny. So stressful.
It's stressful. Oh my gosh. Okay. So up next, Adele is everywhere you look this week. And the Grammy winner opened up about whether or not she wants to have more kids in her tell-all interview with CBS. She welcomed her son Angelo in October 2012 and on whether or not she wants to give him a sibling. She said, "I'm definitely open to it. I would like more children. It wouldn't be the end of the world if I don't have them because I have Angelo. But yeah, I think so." She shares Angelo with ex-husband Simon Konecki. She's now dating sports agent Rich Paul. The Oscar winner wants her son to grow up to be a good and happy person, adding, "I don't expect anything of him. I don't care what his career is as long as he's passionate about whatever it is that he does and that he's happy." Adele noted that Angelo doesn't understand her fame, saying he got a little bit of an idea when he watched the Easy on Me video countdown last month. He was like, there was 150,000 people waiting and you got all of these likes. And he read all of the comments and he was like, people really like you. So he's starting to get it a little bit, but not really.
That is so funny.
So funny. He's so innocent. It's so cute.
It's so cute. But imagine waking up one day and just being like, oh my God, my mom is Adele. So crazy, but very cool story. So next up, George Clooney did an interview with WTF with Mark Maron podcast this week. And he said he never thought about having a family, and he never thought about having that a family was in the cards for him. He said, listen, I didn't want to get married. I didn't want to have kids. And then this extraordinary human being walked into my life, and I just fell madly in love, that I knew from the minute I met her that everything was going to be different. George and his wife, Amal Clooney, welcomed Ella and Alexander, who are now 4, which is crazy. I feel like they just had those babies. He also shared the moment that the couple decided that they wanted to become parents. He said, so we've been married for about a year, and we were at a friend's house and they had a kid there, which was loud and obnoxious. And I was like, holy shit. We went outside for a walk, and she'd never thought about it really. And so then she said, we are awfully lucky in life. And I said, yeah, we are lucky we found each other. And she said, seems like that luck should be shared with some other folks. And then I just said, well, I mean, if you're in, and she said, I think we should try. I have to say it was very emotional because I really was convinced that wasn't my lot in life and was comfortable with that. I mean, he had babies a little bit later in life, but he also found his person a little bit later in life too. And that's totally okay.
Absolutely. I didn't think he was going to either, just from like his past and everything else. And then when, they announced that they were having babies, and he seems like the most amazing dad, like just good for them.
He does. Did you know right away that you wanted to have kids, or did you guys wait a little bit?
I think I always knew I wanted to have kids for sure. But when I was growing up, I'm one of 3. I'm the oldest. I always said to my mother, I'm going to have 1 kid. I always wanted to be an only child, and I'm not going to do that to them. And sure enough, I had 3 kids.
Yes. I love it. I love it. We waited a little while, I was concentrating on my career for a while in the beginning. And then, it just then we had some trouble getting pregnant. So it took us a minute, but yes, I always knew that eventually I did want to have kids, and, but it ends up happening at different times for everybody for different reasons. But they always say, the timing is perfect for you, when it's meant to be.
When it happens. I couldn't agree more. So this week, our Say Aw moment of the week goes to Serena Williams and Alexis Ohanian. The couple brought their daughter Olympia to the King Richard premiere, and Serena even rocked custom matching outfits with the 4-year-old for her debut.
I love that. So cute. I love a good matching moment.
Me too. All about it. Even now as they get older.
Totally. All right. Well, in our mom chat this week, we sat down with Kristen Cavallari, who shared how parenting has changed as her kids are getting older. Take a look. Now that your kids are a little bit older, how has your parenting style changed?
Well, I feel like now is when the real parenting happens. Now it's real conversations about things. It's real life lessons. It's, even Camden, my oldest, he had some friend stuff in the beginning of the year, and it's like, okay, this is the beginning of like the ebbs and flows of friendships. And it's just all of these things. And I actually love this phase that we're in more than any phase we've been in. I mean, there's obviously really good things about all the phases. There is part of me that sometimes is like, I just miss those like newborn snuggles and like the cute little toddler, like mushy little baby. But where we're at is really nice because I have real conversations with my kids. They are their own people now. They're really forming their identity. And that's really exciting. And to be able to help mold them and shape them in some way is, it's a really incredible thing. It can be a really incredible thing. And I just really like my kids. I really enjoy being with them. I really do. Like they're my buddies. And so that's been fun. But listen, I mean, we have rules, if they aren't listening, they do go to their room. I mean, it's not like just a free for all. But I do think I'm a little bit more of a laid back, I hope fun mom, but still have structure and boundaries.
Yeah. Is it hard on you having those tough conversations sometimes? Because you're probably like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I don't want to do the wrong thing because, you're kind of learning how to handle this just as they are.
Yeah. I mean, of course you don't want to say the wrong thing, or I always try, if I think of something later, I always want to make sure that I go back then and finish the conversation or say what I wanted to say. But, yeah, I mean, It is interesting. And it is interesting navigating it too, as the first time, even dealing with like some of the other moms and like the stuff that's going on when the, like little breakups or the friends aren't friends anymore, but the moms are friends. It's like all of those little things. It just is what it is. But no, I mean, I really, with like the friend stuff that my kids were, or my oldest was dealing with, I'm really taking his lead on it. And I'm having a very open, honest conversation with him about how, friendships you'll go in and out of friendships probably until you graduate high school. And that's okay. Not everybody has to be friends as long as you're being nice to everybody. It's just kind of part of life. And I think that that's okay.
I thought this was interesting. She said, like, now she's at that stage of parenting where she's having those tough conversations. She actually feels like she has to parent now. Like she's having those tough conversations, and she said it's the most fun that she's having as a parent, but it's the most fun, but most difficult.
Yeah, I agree with her. I agree. I'm going through it now with my kids, and we're talking about real life and real stuff. And my son now takes the subway, and I really have to sit him down, every day. And I'm like, you need to look up. You need to not just be on your phone. This happens, that happens. And I make him watch the news now, and he sees like what's going on. And I'm like, this is why you have to be careful. It's like, it's a crazier, it's like a more intense parenting now.
Sure. It's kind of weird. I mean, was it so weird for you the first time, like he took the subway by himself and you're probably like just freaking out, being like, text me as soon as you're done, but like, you know that they're going to be okay, but I
do it every day. Every day I'm like, text me before you get home, text me, get on the train, after you get off the train. Like I need to know where you are at all times.
Yeah. All times. Yeah. It's like now I'm sure the worrying is just taken to a whole new level.
Oh yeah. We also spoke to Erin Andrews, who got very candid about her IVF journey. So take a listen to this.
And I want to commend you for, you opened up a few months ago about your fertility journey. And as somebody who also suffered from infertility as well, I can totally relate with you. And, it's hard when somebody, it's a lonely experience. And it's nice when somebody kind of puts a face to it and you kind of relates to it. I mean, why did you want to get so vulnerable about that? And how hard was it for you to open up about that?
Yeah, I mean, well, I'm lucky I have such a great support, like I don't want to say staff, but just team around me of friends. They constantly hear me talk about it. I'm constantly telling them what we're going through. But I just kind of felt like, I've been doing this for 8 years, and I just kind of felt like every time I would go into the waiting room, it would always be like, oh, please don't say my name out loud. And like my last retrieval that I had, I remember being in this room and another girl who was going through it, you could hear it. I mean, the walls are paper thin. They just put up a sheet, and there's another woman right there having a procedure. And I remember they were going through it with her, like, hey, you're going to wake up and you're going to feel like this. And, then take this after. And I just wanted to kind of say to her, like, I didn't know how many times she had been with it, but it's going to be okay and good luck, because I needed somebody to say that to me, and still say it to me. It sucks. It's been a really, really rough journey for us. Like I'm trying to do another round next month. I mean, I really am. I'm sitting here with estrogen patches on, so sweating like a dog. No, that's true. But, it's something that I feel like with celebrities and people in the public eye, you don't hear about it until they have the 2 babies and everything's great. Well, we've had so much failure that I just felt like it would be more relatable if I tell the women out there, this stinks. Like it sucks, but I'm here for you. I get it. And I'm struggling just like you too. And you kind of after a while start thinking to yourself, what's wrong with me that everybody else has had success, but not a lot of people do. So that's why I kind of wanted to be open about it.
Yeah, I feel that, you feel so bad. She said that like she's about to go through her 8th round of IVF, and, she obviously she hasn't been successful, but, at least she's opening up about that side, because she said, you always hear about IVF and you hear about people that having this success stories, but you very rarely hear about the people that are going through it multiple times and not having that success story.
Yes, absolutely. I feel so bad.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah.
It's hard.
It really is. I wish them nothing but the best. I really do.
Absolutely. Our mom's getting real moment goes to Hilaria Baldwin, who shared an emotional selfie with the caption, "Love is letting them chew your jacket when they are having a moment." I mean, can we totally relate to this?
Totally relate to it. Yes. When Jana, whatever, it has to do with screen time, but when Jana is having a moment, I'm like, do you want to watch a video? She loves watching videos of herself on the phone. So I'm like, do you want to watch a video? Okay, I'll help out. And you instantly see their mood change. It's so funny, but I'm like, in those desperate moments when she's having a full on meltdown and I have to get her changed, or, we got to get out the door. I'm like, here it is. Just take it.
Yes. Anything that works. I mean, it's like with sleeping at night. If you're going to sleep through the night while they're in your bed, then let them sleep in your bed. I mean, whatever works. Whatever works.
Yes, totally. I couldn't agree with her more. And I just love that her kid is just chewing a jacket, which I think is funny.
It's fine.
It's totally fine. Well, Brianne, thank you so much for running down all mom's things with me as always.
Thank you so much. And I'll see you next week.
Yes, I'll see you next week. Thanks to all of our guests. And for much more on all things moms, head on over to usmagazine.com and keep subscribing, keep commenting. And like we said, Brianne and I will see you next week. Bye, guys.